Hi, I'm Charlie, and this is Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is available both as a podcast, wherever you get great podcasts, and on video on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men. So today, I'm very pleased to have as my guest, Shary Tran. Shary.
Hi.
Great to see you.
Good to see you too.
So Shary is currently the Director of Diversity and Inclusion for Generac Power Systems. If you have a generator in your backyard, Generac probably made them. She's also on the list of 40 most influential Asian Americans in Wisconsin, not in Milwaukee, in Wisconsin. And you also were a founding member of Elevasian, which we will talk about. I want to read you the description of Elevasian. I think it's pretty cool. Started in 2015 with the purpose of elevating Asian heritage and making Milwaukee a place where AAPIs, as Asian American Pacific Islanders, can thrive and be unapologetically Asian. I think that's pretty cool. It's a great... Did you write that?
Yes, we did.
There you go. All right. So let's start where we usually start at the beginning.
Sure.
So you were born here in Wisconsin, born and raised. What part?
In New Berlin.
New Berlin. Okay. And then end up going to UW Whitewater,
Yep.
and then got your undergrad MBA at Cardinal Stritch. So talk about your early years and how we get to college.
Sure. So I grew up in New Berlin. I was born there, but my family immigrated as refugees from Vietnam after the war, and were sponsored by a Lutheran church in Wisconsin. Actually, after escaping Vietnam at the end of the war, my family was kind of floating out on the ocean for a couple of days. They escaped on a boat.
Wow.
And were floating on the ocean for several days with another couple of families, and were picked up by the U.S. Coast Guard and brought to a refugee camp, first in Guam, and then transferred to California, and then transferred to Florida. So several months in refugee camps until a church sponsored our family, our entire family, to come live in Wisconsin. That's how we ended up here in Wisconsin, right? So we loved it ever since. Have been here our entire lives. But I always joke that I was, my mother was pregnant with me during this whole ordeal of like escaping the war and everything. So I tell people I was manufactured in Vietnam and imported to the U.S. in my mother's belly. So that year, like they'd spent several months in refugee camps and then sponsored finally in April of '75 into Wisconsin and New Berlin. And later on that year, I was born in November of that year, and it was the first time my family had ever seen snow before. When I was the day I was born, so my middle name translates to Snow White. So that's kind of a fun fact about me. But yeah, grew up in New Berlin, went to New Berlin West High School. Wanted to stay close to home, so Whitewater was a great, midpoint.
Sure.
And ended up doing a business degree there, international business degree there.
Okay. So you mentioned your family was in Vietnam during the fall of Saigon, and I've seen this story, and you told me about it briefly. But your dad was was a police officer, and was was deployed to help the U.S. ambassador.
Yeah, he was a motorcycle escort for the ambassador from the United States. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most remarkable thing was the ability of my father to take 9 children at that time to escape the country and keep them all together during that whole ordeal. It was just really a feat of it's an improbable feat that he was able to accomplish that. But the only thing that he could take with him was just pictures and photos, right? There wasn't anything you could grab, but there was a knock on the door in the middle of the night saying, you need to get out of this country, we need to get you out now. So it was get the kids, get everyone, and go. And really taking the pictures was strategic in a way as well, because you didn't want any evidence of any family members that were left behind that might be singled out or targeted. Right. So that was a strategic thing, but it was a great memento to have, because those pictures are still, in my home, in my family.
That's pretty cool. So you get your MBA, and then your work career has spanned, I'll say, several years. In
Thank you.
the diversity and inclusion area. You work for major companies like Briggs & Stratton, Johnson Control, Freighter Health, and now currently at Generac. So talk about your work in the diversity inclusion area, and its effect relatively in the community.
Yeah, I mean, it was really inspired by, I guess, my life experience really drove me to be a DEI practitioner as a professional career. I'd always been focused on kind of really helping those that were underprivileged, supported. And I think it was just part of my upbringing, being supported by, the communities that helped my family when we got here. So really giving back in that way, and always also understanding living as an only sometimes. Growing up in Berlin, it was a very white community, and our family was maybe the only people of color at that time in the community. So it really created this experience of, I know what it feels like to be singled out and be different.
Right.
And I wanted to help other people overcome that kind of those challenges that they had. And it was really just fortunate that there was actually a career called DEI that I could get into, and it was just really a calling for me. That's been a passion for me my entire life. So it was really fortunate. I feel lucky to be able to do this work for a living.
That's great. So, as I mentioned earlier, you're on the list of the 40 most influential Asian Americans in Wisconsin, which led to the formation here in Milwaukee for Elevation, which is your shirt right there. So why don't you talk about starting Elevation, and then what it does in the community. And we have an event coming up that we want to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So Elevation started because there's a lack of visibility, a lack of representation of Asians in at tables where decisions are being made, and having a voice to help create the communities that we want to see reflected where we live. So I think a lot of the Asian professionals that were in the community and active in the community at the time were very low in number, but we'd always see each other at events, and we'd always single each other out. We'd see each other and gravitate towards each other, right? Oh, there's another Asian in the room. But we became fast friends, but then we also started to realize that it can't just be us in these rooms at these tables. There are a lot of other voices, a lot of other talented Asians in this community that should have a chance to be here too. So we made it a point to try to bring more visibility to those individuals in our communities, but also the businesses in our communities that are doing great things, and the issues that matter to us as well as Asian Americans living in Wisconsin. So our mission then became to elevate the visibility of Asian Americans. So Elevation was a play on that kind of word, right? So elevating that visibility of Asians in this community in southeastern Wisconsin specifically, by highlighting and showcasing and creating a network that can help raise that profile of folks, and letting people know that we can help educate the community about our culture, about our customs, about what's important to us as well, to help build those bridges.
Well, I met you at an event. We call them the Derek Mosley dinners. Judge Mosley from Marquette University does these American Heritage dinners. The one several months ago, maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, was AAPI Heritage dinner. And you were there, and you were kind of omnipresent in everything that was going on. So I know you had a lot to do with setting that up. So that's how we met. But we don't need to talk about what the great food was. It was delicious. But let's talk about Dragon Boat Fest.
Yeah. So one of the things that Elevation participates in is helping to elevate the communities that are doing great things already. So the Milwaukee Chinese Community Center hosts the Dragon Boat Festival each year, and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. So we're really excited to be a part of it.
And it's right over here.
It is right at Lakeshore Park. Yeah, at the lagoon there, right outside of Discovery World, and that little that lake there. It's a lot of fun. It's a huge festival. Like I said, it continues to get bigger and bigger, and it's a family-friendly event. So even if you're not racing, it's an event you can bring out your family and picnic and enjoy the festivities. There's cultural performances going on. There's food vendors that are there. There's crafts and activities going on, as well as the actual races themselves, which is the crown jewel of the event, where a lot of corporations sponsor teams to race in these actual dragon boats that get shipped in from out of state. They're really beautiful boats that hold about 20 people on them, rowing to race each other for bragging rights and trophies about the race.
I saw it last year. We walked past it, and I said, God, this is pretty cool. And then to find out that it's an actual festival, and it happens a block from where we live. And also you were in charge of, or you were certainly a part of, the Dumpling Fest, which I was out of town and unfortunately missed. But yes, I heard that was a smashing success.
That is like my baby, the Dumpling Fest. I'd always wanted to do one, and finally got the opportunity to pull one together last year. This was our second year doing it, and it continues to be a really great event. It sells out within 48 hours.
Yeah.
It sells out each year, so people are really excited about it. But we have some of the great chefs in Milwaukee creating dumplings inspired by just the humble dumpling that is just anything wrapped in dough, right? That we have, and it spans so many different cultures. But you think about dumplings, it's really like an Asian kind of the first thing you think about are Asian dumplings, but there's dumplings across all cultures, so it's a really good kind of personification of how we're all brought together by something similar, and the dumpling brings us all together.
Well, that rolls into what I wanted to ask you next. Is that you're a known foodie, and so Dumpling Fest being prime example. But talk about some of your favorite Milwaukee restaurants, and maybe even throw in a little secret place that no one really knows about.
It's so hard to pick a favorite, right?
Sure.
It's like picking your favorite child, I guess. But there's so many great restaurants in Milwaukee that continue to evolve and grow. But I think some of my favorites include Esterev, which even before the Top Chef, notoriety, I was a big fan of Esterev. Amalinda is another favorite of mine as well, as Good Kind down in Bayview. So those are great places with great food. Always great food and meals there. Never had a bad meal at any of those
places. Those are big time. Those are top 30s.
They are.
How about something, a little secret place?
So secret places, of course, there's an evolving ethnic food scene, right? That's always been growing. And I think I'm really proud to see the Asian cuisine really getting a lot more visibility and a lot more popularity as well. So there's always great Vietnamese restaurants, of course, that I go to. Pho Saigon is a favorite of mine on Greenfield Avenue in West Dallas. There's also, the new emergence of Korean barbecue has been really exciting too. There's several of them right down in this area. The
guy who's the owner used to live in this building. Now he moved a block away, but Han.
At Cinnabro.
Yeah, Cinnabro and Chard and Kampai.
Yeah. Those are great. I really enjoy going to the really small places. One of the actual Dumpling Fest winner this year was Asian Fusion Cafe.
Oh, sure.
Or Fusion Cafe in West Dallas.
Yeah, I know where it is.
And they make all handmade, homemade everything there, and that's a great place to go to. That people may not know about, but hopefully they'll get more popular since Dumpling Fest came.
Well, that's why we talk about the secret ones, because it's the Esterev, it's the top 30 every year, and Good Kind and so. Anyway, so we call this serious people with serious jobs having a little fun. I want to give you one of our aprons to put on, so you can get your Elevasian shirt all dirty. So, what are we preparing today?
Well, in honor of my culture, right, Vietnamese culture, and the summer season that we're in, we're making Vietnamese Summer Rolls, which are called cuốn in Vietnamese, and these are a very versatile dish that can be adapted for anyone's diet or palate. So it's a really flexible recipe, but I'm doing the more just traditional, really basic traditional cuốn today.
I'm with you.
All right.
So I mentioned to you that I used to live in D.C., and you could take, we lived on Capitol Hill, you take the metro up to Clarendon, which is 3 stops into Virginia and Arlington, and you'd get out of the metro, and you'd go to the center, you'd twirl around, and you could throw a rock and hit a great Vietnamese restaurant. There's 10 or 12 of them in this little circle called Clarendon. Now there's one left, unfortunately. But spring rolls and summer rolls were absolutely, and you must order. So I'm looking forward to it.
They're a gateway to other Vietnamese cuisine for sure. That's how we get you.
All right, so we've done a little bit of prep work. Give us a minute, and we'll be right back, and we'll put everything together, and I hope we're going to eat these things.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. All right, be right back. All right, so here we are. Shary's going to show us how to make some summer rolls.
Yes. Summer rolls, otherwise known as cuốn in Vietnamese. It is a fresh version of a spring roll. It's not a fried spring roll. It's got more fresh raw vegetables in it, as well as some cooked meats. It's a lighter summer treat. It's really great for occasions. You'll see them at every pretty much Vietnamese restaurant menu. So they're a popular staple, made with rice paper, and we're going to show you all the ingredients that we're using today.
Okay.
So the traditional spring rolls, you can make them with anything. They're really great, versatile kind of recipe. So if you are vegan, you can do all vegetables. If you don't like certain meats, you don't have to use, you can put whatever you want in a rice paper wrapper actually, and be really creative with it, which is what I love. But traditionally, it'll have, this is some boiled pork belly, it's sliced really thin, and some fresh boiled shrimp that have been cut in half lengthwise, deveined and shelled as well. So those are ready to go. And then the vegetables traditionally in a spring roll include, green leaf lettuce right here, some mint, optional vegetables if you like more color. You can include some shredded carrot. For some more crunch, I got some sliced cucumber, and then some chive as well.
Nice.
Goes in there. And then the rice paper wrappers themselves are right here. These are traditional size. Everything you find today that we're using, you can buy at a regular grocery store.
Sure.
So it's not prohibitive. You can find these ingredients anywhere. I mean, these rice paper wrappers you can get right at Pick and Save.
Right.
So that's great. As well as the rice noodles that we boiled already that are just cooling here as well. So these are rice noodles. You got to be very specific that they're rice noodles, not like cellophane noodles, not vermicelli, bean thread noodles. These are rice noodles made with rice flour. So these are really the main filling for our spring rolls.
Gotcha. Okay.
Our summer rolls.
So tell us about this little contraption here.
Yes. So summer rolls have gotten so popular that you can even buy new contraptions to make it easier to make. So this actually is a rice paper dipper. Traditionally you'd dip your rice paper into water to soften it before you roll the ingredients in it. So this is like a little holder here where you'd put your undipped, and then you would dip this in the water, and you just kind of turn it like that, and it gets perfectly moistened rice paper wrapper for you to use. So that's the little contraption there. So it really helps speed up the process for you. So that's just an example here. So when you are making summer rolls, you want to dip the paper and start working right away to fill it, because the paper gets really soft and it'll get too pliable to wrap. So you start with some of the green leaf lettuce. Just put that front here, and then you put some of your mint or any other herbs that you want to put in there. You could use cilantro, you could do other herbs, do a couple of vegetables here as well. And you're just kind of piling it on the top here because it's just going to roll together. If you want to put a little carrot, you can for some color. And then you put some of your noodles. You get a little handful of noodles in here, just right on top of there. Generous as you want, but of course you have to make sure you can roll it up at the end.
That's what we talked about. That's my problem when I make these or empanadas or anything that I just put too much stuff in.
So then I am putting some of the pork belly, just the front here, because when we roll it up, it'll show up the front. And then the shrimp, an important part of the shrimp is you want the color side facing down so that when you roll it, it looks really pretty through the skin. That's the trick, right?
Pro tip.
Make sure that it's a pro tip there for you. So put your shrimp in, and then you start wrapping. So you start with the sides.
Okay.
From the sides here, you can see the paper's already getting a little soft.
Right.
And then you just start rolling. And you keep rolling until you reach the end. And there you have your summer roll with the shrimp showing on the outside.
Lovely.
How pretty that is. And there you go.
All right.
And that is the first one there.
All right, so I think we're going to make a couple of these. Maybe I'm going to get to make one.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to make one. Why don't I do that, see if I can do that right now.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Go ahead with your rice paper.
Rice
So you just
paper,
dip it in the water and give it a spin. So all the edges get coated with water.
All right. Yeah, you can feel it's getting a little...
Yeah. So you give that there, and
right,
then
so
start with some green leaf lettuce. Yep.
Got to have something healthy. I like mint. I don't like that much in it. All right, and carrots. I'm not gonna fill it up. That's what I'm very good at, making too much.
Okay, and then we'll wait for the chive. Actually, we'll roll that a little bit towards the end. So we'll do some noodles next.
Noodles, okay. Some rice noodles.
Good amount there, perfect.
All right.
And
do you hear that? Perfect.
Perfect, yes.
All right, so
You're
we
a
got
quick
some
learner here. Some pork.
Pork roll.
And then your shrimp.
Shrimp. Oh, you cut these in half.
I did cut them in half.
Oh, interesting. So.
If you want to be, a little bit more fancy, you could do a whole shrimp.
Well,
it's going to be a little bulky.
Right. So
that. Roll it though.
So this shrimp is sliced in half, and that's why she said the color side down. I think I went more in there.
You know what? You should actually turn the rounded side towards the inside so the tails are pointing out. So
Okay.
You roll it.
There, another pro tip. Tails pointing out. Where are we? Oh, that's the other side. I gotcha. All right.
There you go.
All right, let's see how we do.
Sides first. Let's tuck the edges in there.
Like that?
Yep.
All right.
And then the other side.
Come here.
It's getting a little sticky, right? Yeah.
There they are.
Okay. And then start kind of rolling from the bottom and just kind of keep rolling as you go. And then once you get to right there, we'll stop and we'll put the chive right here.
Okay.
And then just keep rolling. And you have your summer roll. There you go.
Looky there. Hey.
Not too bad, huh?
Very nice. All right. So give us a minute. We're going to make a few more because I think we got some people coming to eat with us.
We'll make a few more, then we'll actually make the dipping sauce for it as well.
All right. So give us a minute. Be right back. All right. So Shary's making a little dipping sauce. And so what's in our dipping sauce, Shary?
So we just have some hoisin sauce, which you can buy in the grocery store.
Right.
And you're thinning it out with a little bit of water and a little bit of sugar. So just like about a couple of tablespoons of water and a tablespoon of sugar in there. And you're just kind of cooking down so the sugar dissolves. This helps to thin it out a little bit. It just creates a nice savory sweet sauce
All right.
for this.
And we'll have that as a dipping sauce.
Yep.
And I think we've got another accompaniment. So almost ready. Be back in just a minute. And we're going to sit down and eat these. All right. We're back. So, Shary,
Yes.
tell us what we got here.
We have goi cuốn, or Vietnamese Summer Rolls.
Yum. And we have a dipping sauce.
We do. We've got hoisin dipping sauce here. This one has peanuts on top. This one is plain, but it is thinned out dipping sauce of hoisin, sugar, and water.
Okay. And they're both warmed.
Yes.
All right. And then we also have a little sesame noodles. The audience is drooling out there. All right. So, Shary, you're the guest. And these are handheld, so go ahead.
I'll leave you that one. You made that one, so you can have that one, right?
Oh, I get to eat the bad one? Well, it hardly seems fair. All righty. Okie doke.
So why don't you get some sauce on your plate here? You can use that.
Thank
unless
you.
you want the one with peanuts on it. It's up to you.
Just like the magic like that? All right.
Yeah. And then you just it's just like handheld, just dip and enjoy.
All right, I'm going to put a little... Oh, we do need forks.
No, I'm good. I'm good with just this right now.
Okay. Can you grab me a fork over there, please? Making the guests do work.
There you go.
All right. Not gonna do that. All righty. Little summer roll, hoisin sauce, and little sesame noodles. All right.
Okay.
Let's dig in. As you're mentioning, they get a little sticky.
Mm-hmm. This is a great snack for summer.
Snack. This is going to be breakfast and lunch. I'd forgotten the mint is in these. And it's just...
Really brings out freshness.
It does. Now, Shary didn't make the sesame noodles. Got them at Sendik's, but I have a little something extra on the plate. They're not as good as the summer rolls.
So how do you think your summer roll turned out?
That's probably the best one I've ever made.
So it's not the last one you're going to make, though, right?
No.
You see
I'm
how
gonna
easy
find
it
one of
was?
those little contraptions.
Amazon.
Amazon. Okay, there you go.
They have everything.
Oh, another bite. For two. And then, are you guys hanging around to eat out there?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, Tom better get down here because we only got 5 left.
You can always cut them in half if you need to, but if you want to share.
I've always enjoyed eating them. Now I'm going to enjoy making them and eating them. So, Shary, before you take another bite, thanks so much.
Of course.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope people feel it easy and approachable to try Vietnamese food.
Well, everything here, as you said, you can get in any grocery store. The rice paper and everything else is either in the produce or the...
In the ethnic aisle at the grocery store.
Yeah.
You'll find them there.
almost anywhere there is. So, thanks so much for taking the time to watch. We appreciate when you like and comment. please subscribe. And as always, thanks for supporting Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders. Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders is brought to you by Cooking Secrets for Men, LLC, and was recorded in the 3rd Ward in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We feature and profile community leaders who are trying to make Milwaukee a better place. The tagline is, serious people with serious jobs having a little fun. Our guests choose the recipes that we use on the show. All of our podcasts are available on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you get great podcasts. The original YouTube video for this episode is available on our YouTube channel, Cooking Secrets for Men, all rights reserved. Thanks, and see you next time on Cooking with Milwaukee Community Leaders.